Okay, last time I told you we were switching sides. And at first glance, my grandmother's lineage looks way easier to trace. There are names, dates, births, baptism, deaths. But with colonial and Caribbean records, there is always subtext. And once you learn to read it, everything shifts. So here's what I've had to understand. Just because a name appears in a record doesn't mean that it was the name their family used. Baptisms were recorded in two separate registries, white children and non-white children. And alongside each name, the parent's occupation, which is not just a job, it's a social class. A planter is powerful and landed, probably white. A laborer was not. And a settler sits somewhere in between. Then there is the thing that is the hardest to find in the archives, and that is the children that the enslavers had with their enslaved. It's rarely recorded, and when it is, it's not recorded honestly. Okay, so my grandmother was Lucille Pearl Headley. Her father was a Headley. And yes, his brother was the George Headley, the Black Bradman, one of Jamaica's greatest cricketers. Now, I haven't fully been able to confirm this connection, but that's the family story, that's the lore, and I'm working with it. So what I have confirmed is that Lucille's parents were John Headley and Mabel Etheline Blake. And the Blake side is where this opens up. Mabel's father was James Alexander Blake, born 1872, and my dad remembers him as white. But I found his birth record, and it lists him as colored. And honestly, looking at photos of him, I knew. The record was just confirmation of what we could see with our own eyes. His father, Samuel Facey Blake, listed in every record as either a settler or a laborer. So he is mixed and possibly some indigenous Jamaican heritage. That thread keeps surfacing, and I haven't confirmed it yet, but I haven't ruled it out either. Going further back, Samuel's father was Joseph Blake, born 1813, before emancipation. The Blakes came from England, and almost immediately they became a mixed family because that was the pattern. Enslavers had children with the women they enslaved. The children appear in records listed simply as colored or free, no mention of their mothers. The enslaved are largely invisible in these archives, and you have to learn to read between the gaps. Joseph's father was William Blake II, son of William Blake I and Elizabeth Wright. I found William II's baptism record, and it states that he is William I's child, but Elizabeth Wright is not his mother. She accepted responsibility for him and several other mixed children because these are children of William Blake I and the enslaved women he had children with. The fact that Elizabeth Wright recorded this at all, that she left a trace, is one of the most remarkable things I found in the archives. And it's how I found my way back. Now, the other branch, my great-grandmother's side. Her parents appear to be Elizabeth Newman and Alexander White, listed as a planter, landed, powerful, probably white. On the Newman side, Horatio Newman, also a planter, had a daughter with Sophia Alexander. And then Horatio simply disappears from the records. His brother, Robert Newman, owned multiple plantations, and Charles Newman, and every single one of his enslaved people was named after him or his children. Let that sit. So why does Horatio vanish while his brothers remain property holders? I think he married a Black woman. By the time you reach my great-great-grandmother, his descendant, she is a Black woman. I've seen the photographs. So Horatio disappears from one world and enters another. When you step back, this is what this side of the family looks like, and it is a very Jamaican story. So white planters in the 1700s, mixed children on the plantation, some acknowledged, most not. Free Black and mixed families slowly becoming landholders. And by the late 1800s, communities of color owning land in northern Manchester and St. Elizabeth, two side-by-side parishes. The plantations become villages. The villages become communities. My family emerged somewhere in that transition. It mirrors exactly what I found on the Preddie side. Collections of families, adjacent land, intermarried, intertwined, building something from the wreckage of what came before. There's more to find here. I'm still digging. So I will see you on the next one. And follow this all on Substack. Link in the description.